Now you may be thinking, why do you need to diversify into gold? My guy's headed to D.C. Things are good. Well, here's the facts. An administration trying to reverse a $35 trillion national debt in just 4 years, like a field mouse trying to stop a freight train. It's tough. Can't even afford to pay the interest on the debt, let alone the principal. So take action now. Text Dan to 989898 before December 18th for a free info kit on gold and to claim your eligibility for free silver on qualifying purchases from Birch Gold. Do this before December 18th. And again, text Dan to the number 989898 for peace of mind that lasts longer than 4 years. Message and data rates apply. All right, fellas, let's go. I got to wish a happy birthday to someone, too. My nephew, Joey, who I love to death. It is his birthday today, too. We were born on the same day. And Paula's birthday is the same day as my father, so it's easy to remember a lot of this stuff. Folks, they are trying to, what is that? Oh, trends. Look at that. Happy birthday, Dan. You guys are awesome, man. Really, I love you guys so much. They are trying to Kavanaugh my friend Pete Hegseth. Look at that chat. Come on, you guys can get me all choked up. You know I'm a big wuss. You know I'm a big wuss. Besides, the New York Times guy's watching our show today. New York Times, right? He reached out. He watches our show every day. So welcome, Stuart. It's good to see you. Apparently, he's been analyzing our show. And I'll show you the email in a little bit. But did you guys read it? Apparently, he's been watching our show and applied some rigorous analysis. And it's like, this amount of time you shit on the media. Well, that's a shame. We need to shit on the media more. We haven't done enough. We'll throw up that little chart in a little bit. But guys, we're not shitting on the media enough on this show. Damn it. Thank you, Stuart, for keeping us frosty. You guys are great. They are trying to Kavanaugh Pete Hegseth. Folks, serious time. We are not letting this happen. Folks, this is the hill to die on. They Kavanaugh Pete Hegseth, and folks, the swamp's already won. They're doing it again. Your boy Dan here does not let you down. I told you if we capitulated on Gaetz, they were simply going to move to someone else. It's not we, us. It's these Republican rhino phony frauds. And what happened? They are doing it again. There is a concerted effort behind the scenes by a bunch of Republicans. Remember, we don't need the Democrats. We have 53 Republicans in the new Senate. We don't need the Democrats. Matter of fact, we can have 3 Republicans who are fake, like Murkowski, who's a garbage person. Susan Collins in Maine, you get what you get, whatever. I don't expect anything from her, and you're never going to get it anyway. And then you can throw in this guy from Utah, this other one who looks like a total loser, and you still, J.D. Vance is a tying vote. And the Republican Party, the Swampies, that will vote for any shitbird Democrat you put up there. Merrick Garland, Alejandro Mayorkas, Javier Baccaria, as Joe Biden calls him, the black guy, Secretary of Defense. Some of you will get that. That's not me, folks. Biden doesn't know his name. What is he called? Stuart. Yeah, Stuart's like, oh my gosh, he called him black. Stuart, wake the fuck up. Go look at the video. This show is dedicated to Stuart today from the New York Times. Stuart, don't ever email us. You're going to become part of the show immediately. How much respect, guys, do we have for the New York Times? Absolutely zero. Zero. I have zero respect. Avita can send me a post from a 12-year-old writing a blog about the Auburn Tigers. I trust that cat more than I trust the New York Times. Whatever the New York Times says, I assume the opposite is true. They are trying to Kavanaugh Hegseth. Now, how many freaking times do I have to explain the left-wing? Wait, is someone putting a counter for Stuart? We have started, Stuart, officially attacking assholes in the media. Let's get the counter going. The left-wing media practices Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. You know Saul Alinsky? Saul Alinsky was a left-wing organizer. What are they doing? I told you if you didn't continue Rock'em Sock'em Robots, stick it in the chat. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, kids. If you don't do Rock'em Sock'em Robots and keep hitting them, then what's going to happen? Put up rule number 11. The media are left-wing organizers, folks. They're not actual journalists. Stuart doesn't plan on writing an objective piece, doing journalistic skills and applying them. Stuart's trying to take a dump on right-wingers because he disagrees with us. So what do? The same thing they're doing with Pete. Pick the target, Pete Hegseth. Freeze it. Personalize it. Polarize it. Don't attack abstractions, corporations, or bureaucracies. Identify a responsible individual. Pete, ignore attempts to shift or spread the blame. How many times do I got to explain this? Now, Guy, who never says anything about anything ever, Guy's only answers are yes and no. That's it. You have to talk in code to Guy. It reminds me of that movie, The Martian, when they figure out a way and they can only talk in like yes or no's because the camera can only point in one direction. That's Guy. He never says anything ever. Guy comes in this morning. He goes, you know what they need to do? They need to nominate someone else. They do. They need to pick someone who is going to stir up the media machine and throw that name out there right away. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I'm not saying sabotage anything or anyone. I'm just saying pick some patriot they hate. They just hate him because they're a conservative. And then blow the news cycle out tomorrow. Because why? Because Saul Alinsky's rules work for us too. Rule number 7, kids. Sorry, the other way. Everything's backwards. A tactic that drags on for too long becomes a drag. Commitment may become ritualistic as people turn to other issues. People will turn to other issues if you give them other issues. Listen, I know everybody knows what they're doing. I'm not trying to get up anyone's caboose here, right? I'm just telling you right now that you got to shake up the news cycle. Pete is being character assassinated because that's what the media does. They are left-wing organizers. These are not journalists. They are assholes. They have never been journalists in their entire lives. Nobody respects them. They don't even understand that we are the news now. We, the Bongino army rules. You guys can genuflect before us now. We're in charge. You suck. Nobody trusts you, and everybody watches us because you suck. I need you now. Get on the phone. I don't care where you're from. Respectfully, because the other don't do anything else, but respectfully, you know the rules. Get on the phone and start tweeting at Joni Ernst, Lindsey Graham, and that Utah cat. What's his name? Curtis? I hear this is another guy. Get on the phone. Folks, this stuff matters. I'm telling you guys in the Senate, if you really believe that this show, Benny's show, Charlie Kirk's show, Dilly's meme team, and others, if you really believe we're just going to forget, oh, no, they'll just forget about it. They'll just forget about it. You are in for another Tea Party revolution. We're getting tired of this shit. You got your scalp. You knocked out Gates. We're not letting this go. Pete is the guy. Here's Pete just this morning. And do not withdraw your name. Listen to me. Do not withdraw your name no matter what. President Trump should come out on the record today and say there's going to be an up or down vote. I want everyone on the record. Everyone. Forget Collins and Murkowski. You're not going to get anything from them. Murkowski's the biggest scrub in the Senate, an absolute life loser with not a shred of human dignity. She is the only politician in the country where, seriously, there's a part of me that says, you know what? I'd almost rather lose that seat to a Democrat if chairmanships weren't involved. That way we can get rid of the Democrat in 6 years because we're stuck with this loser for life. She's never going to go away. She has no set of ethics at all. Collins is in Maine. Don't even worry about Collins. I'm serious. You're not going to get any better. I'm really sorry. Reminds me like Mark Kirk in Illinois. You got what you got. Murkowski is from Alaska. You're never going to meet a bigger group of patriots. This is bullshit. Here's Pete this morning. He says he's not. Do not drop out. Do not withdraw your name. We lose this, they're going to have Mike Flindom and Kavanaugh them, and then the swamp's going to know they're back in charge, and we're going to be fighting every freaking foreign war with a woke military cutting troops' nuts off on your taxpayer dime while a guy with a root canal can't go out in the field to fight. Check this out.
Have you had any conversations with the president-elect about replacing you with Governor DeSantis?
I spoke to the president-elect this morning. He said, keep going, keep fighting. Behind you all the way.
So you're in this all the way?
Why would I back down? I've always been a fighter. I'm here for the more fighters. This is personal, passionate for me.
not withdrawing your name from consideration, just to be
We're
clear.
meeting all day with senators.
I know your mom was just on Fox. She says that you are a change.
Please do not withdraw your name. Please. If you go down with this, I want everyone on the record. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in charge now. You can say all you want. It's bravado. You guys are cocky. You know what you can do? You can go fuck yourself. We are in charge. Throw it up. We're in charge. You ever see this live search app? The #1 live stream in the world. It's this little army we put together right here. Pat McAfee, sports guy, what's he getting paid? 20, 30 million a year at ESPN? We're working in the back of a converted apartment with a TV screen behind us, and we're kicking the shit out of everyone. We're in charge now. That's why the New York Times come to us with their lips attached to our ass. Can you comment on this? Here, you want to see the studio? Look at that. That's like crap on the floor. I don't even know because we're not even done moving yet to the new studio. This is like a desk in the back of the place. ESPN is what, a $27 trillion budget? I love Pat McAfee. Nice guy. Sports, whatever. We win. We win. Every day. We're in charge. But being in charge comes with responsibility. Folks, we've got a movement to protect. And Pete Hegseth is more than just about Pete Hegseth. Yes, Pete is my friend, disclosure, and he has been for a long time. I got a lot of friends. You ever see the movie Unforgiven? I got a lot of friends. What does the guy say in response? I don't. I don't have a lot of friends. But Pete's one of them. I'm a hard guy to get along with, man. I mean it. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. She will. I'm a hard guy to get along with. She's been with me a long time. I got a lot of issues, man, and I have no problem putting them on the air. I always think back to that crazy Howard Stern movie where he says he's going to go for it. I decided to go for it a long time ago, and I knew that was going to open me up to a lot of criticism. But I don't have a lot of friends. I don't trust a lot of people. I trust Pete. We got Evita in the studio today, and I know something very sensitive to her. Obviously, her mom, Rachel, has worked with Pete for a long time, but Evita's very concerned about our military footprint all over the world. It seems like a lot of people are making a lot of money off putting our kids' heads on the chopping block. I'm no isolationist, but I certainly ain't an interventionist either. And Pete Hegseth's one of those guys who's going to look and go, is this really America first or is this America last, us being over there? And there's a war machine worth trillions of dollars that doesn't like that. They're trying to sabotage Pete because there are people in the United States Senate on the Democrat and Republican side who have had arms industry, weapons industry lobbyists up their ass for 20 years. And they're telling him this is our hill to die on. Well, fuck, this is our hill to die on too. Because you know who's going to die? Your kids and your kids after that in a number of bullshit foreign enterprises where we have zero interest whatsoever because castrated fucking eunuchs who have no balls to do it themselves, don't have a fucking shred of integrity or anything else, want your kids to go over and fight some war somewhere. They don't have a shred of balls to fight themselves. And they are afraid that Pete Hegseth is going to ask one simple question. Why? There's money to be made in your kids' blood. Folks, we have a military for a reason. We're not here to duck every fight. There are fights we have to fight. You hit us, you knock down our buildings, then we are going to fuck you up. But man, we don't need U.S. boots in every single country on earth for kids dying and blood on foreign soil because some lobbyist has a freaking pipeline somewhere they need protected. That's bullshit. And that's exactly what's happening right now to Pete Hegseth. I'm sorry about the language, but my giving a fuck's counter today is zero. I've been listening to this shit for 2 weeks now. There is no backing down. If we back down on this, I'm telling you, the transition guys, if you back away, you fuck this thing up. They will never stop. It is not about Pete. You see all these bullshit stories at Fox? Here's someone you guys may know. You know Rachel from Fox, Evita's mom? I've known Rachel a long time. I feel like I grew up with Rachel. I watched them on The Real World when I was a kid. I feel like I've known her forever. Rachel knows Pete a little bit, right, Evita? And Evita's like, holy shit, I think they work together. Yeah, they like sit next to each other. It's kind of weird. For like a long time. For like 8 hours on the weekend. By the way, it's actually more than 8 hours because the show starts at 6 on the weekends, Fox and Friends, where Pete and Will and Rachel are on the couch. And here's the thing, folks. It's called the curvy couch. Do you know why it's called the curvy couch? Because it's fucking curved. So someone's like breathing in your face. So it's so weird. They're like, Pete Hegseth shows up drunk. And I'm like, really? I worked at Fox and with Fox for like well over 10 years. That's crazy. Like, I've been at hundreds of events with Pete. It's weird how I've never seen that. But who gives a shit what I think? I mean, Rachel's sitting right there for like 8 hours and another 2 hours before. This guy, like, he's had a beer the night before we can smell. Really? You would think they'd ask Rachel, right? I mean, she kind of would like know and stuff. Here's Rachel and Will. I'll put them on one tree. Rachel and Will, who actually work with him. NBC News had put out this story attacking Pete. They never even reached out. And Rachel, by the way, who you rarely, if ever, curses, ever, says your story is, quote, horse shit. I will second that. There's Will Kane. Will sits right next to Pete. Did some sumo wrestling with him once. Will says your story's horse shit. Put my name on it, on the record. Well, fuckwads at NBC, we're in charge now, not you. And you can put my name on the record, too. I don't work with him as much as Will and Rachel do, but I've known him I met Pete at CPAC, I think, in like 2010. I have known Pete a long time. Pete is a patriot. Pete is an amazing father and a good man. Don't tell me, oh, he's made a lot of mistakes. No shit. I made a lot of mistakes. You want to hear my mistakes? Sometime I'll do a whole show on him. You'll be like, holy shit, you made a lot of mistakes. And it's not just me, and it's not just Will, and it's not just Rachel. It's Will Case, my producer, who knew Pete at Fox and Friends. It's Janice Dean, who does the weather at Fox. It's Brianna Morello has her own show who worked at Fox. It's amazing that everybody's willing to go on the record and say the story's bullshit. And the only people propagating the war machine attack on Pete Hegseth are people who don't have the balls, no nuts to go on the record and put your mother name on it. Cowards. We are not folding on this. Folks, we are not folding on this. You understand? Bongino Army, put an American flag in the chat right now and burn this chat to the ground. American flags for Pete Hegseth. He's got it tattooed on him because he believes in it. We all got problems, folks. I just told you, I love that movie, Unforgiven. And when he shoots the guy, he feels bad about it. I guess he had it coming. What's the other line? We all got it coming. Pete's a good man. Yeah, look at that. Burn it down. You see that, Stuart? Have we not spent enough time shitting on you guys yet? Start your clock again. That's an American flag. It's not the Soviet. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. We haven't even talked about Stuart yet. Stuart and his New York Times people have the Soviet Union hammer and sickle in there. There's one or two. That's Stuart. He's commenting as he's going to try to jump into McGroin's group. Stuart McGroin or something. Someone steal that right away. Stuart NYT McGroin. Oh, this show's too much fun, man. I think I like melted Rumble. Is Rumble? Man, the Army's powerful. 200 per second. Yes. Stuart, we're in charge now. Kneel before Zod, Stuart. Kneel before Zod. Never send us an email. Don't send us an email. It ain't going to end well. Unless you're a conservative, then we love you. Conservative media, reach out anytime. I'm way over. Hey, we're all feeling good about where the country's headed. What a great time for MyPatriotSupply.com. Stuart, pay attention to this ad too, because it does focus on emergencies that actually happen. You know, like floods and hurricanes and like wars and stuff like that. They're emergencies. You know why they're emergencies? Because you didn't see them coming. Stuart's like, I'm not prepared for that. Of course you're not. That's why my audience goes to My Patriot Supply, because they are prepared. Stuart will be knocking on the door. Can I have your emergency food? You cannot, Stu. Sorry. Yeah, right there. Yeah, exactly. These emergency food kits, solar power generators, water treatment systems, they're the best in the business. Get prepared today with My Patriot Supply. Get their 4-week emergency food kit. Stuart, by the way, they have a sale, $50 off. I have an emergency food kit, multiples for every member of my family, stored around my house, because I don't want to die if there's an emergency and we got to wait for the government, because the government will fail you. The 4-week emergency food kit has some of my favorite meals, creamy Alfredo pasta, snacks like banana chips. They're all delicious. With warehouses located across America, My Patriot Supply can send you a 4-week emergency food kit in as little as one day. So go to MyPatriotSupply.com to get your 4-week emergency food kit now. And remember, you can get it for $50 off. But don't wait. Emergencies can happen anytime, and do. Just watch the news. Prepare today. Support these companies that support us. MyPatriotSupply.com to get your 4-week emergency food kit now. That's MyPatriotSupply.com. Thanks, MyPatriotSupply.com. You've been with us a long time. Man, is that chat still going? Holy Moses. Man, you guys are on fire today. You were tearing it up. I mean, did we... Chris at Rumble, have we melted? His headquarters on fire right now. Now, we are not, unfortunately, Pete is not the only one under attack, because Rumble, and those of you that invested your time and assets into Rumble, of course, it's publicly traded. As many of you know, I own a good chunk of Rumble as a company, as an equity holder. I'm not a manager there again. I'm an equity holder because I invest in the parallel economy, have for a long time. You get the point. Who cares? Stuart Thompson in the New York Times and every other left-wing bullshit outlet, they reach out, what would you say, guys, every 3 weeks to a month, and they write the exact same piece every time. Let me summarize Stuart's from the New York Times who reach out. I'm going to tell you his piece right now. They're going to go to Rumble, which has millions upon millions of hours of content. They're going to find some guy who, like, kicked his dog on Rumble one time, and going to be like, animal abuse on Rumble! Call the police. Shut it down. They're going to reach out to the UK, France, Joe Biden, ban Rumble. It doesn't matter that there's probably like some ritualistic satanic thing going on YouTube or elsewhere. They don't care, because Rumble is committed to free speech, and a conservative guy, one of many, invested in it. They're going to call it right wing. Doesn't matter. Glenn Greenwald's on there, Russell Brand, and a bunch of left wingers, because we believe in free speech. Stuart doesn't give a shit. So here's going to be the headline: Rumble, bad, evil conservatives. And it's going to be 9,000 words on all kinds of bullshit, okay? So Stuart Thompson, who today we have declared public enemy #1 on the Dan Bongino show, he writes to producer Jim yesterday, which is a big mistake, because producer Jim and I are pretty tight. So when producer Jim gets this, of course, he comes right to me and goes, how should we fillet this idiot? He says, hey, Jim, I'm writing from the New York Times. That's all I need to hear. I don't even need the rest of it. All you had to say, Stuart, is I'm writing from the New York Times, to which we immediately do what? We go, New York Times, you're writing from the New York. That's hilarious. That's really funny. We're working on a story about Rumble that mentions the Dan Bongino show. And Evita's part of this too. The early edition with Evita. I'm sure they're going to call her a Nazi, racist, fascist. Just like we're like a tag team now. Remember, like, you know what they're going to call us? Remember, like the WWE back in Nikita Khrushchev and the Iron Sheik? That's going to be me and Evita right now. I guarantee you. I'm contacting to let you know. You don't have to let us know, Stuart. We don't give a fuck. You're the New York Times. And to see comment, we'll give you a comment. Here it is. The overall story is about the universe of content that exists on Rumble. Here we go. How the news and opinion on Rumble contrasts with coverage from other news sources. What do you mean? Like, you dipshits at the New York Times reported there was a PP tape they were investigating, a collusion hoax, and you fell for it, and we exposed you? Is that what you mean by other content? He notes, to complete the story, I deleted my other news sources and relied on Rumble for a week. Wow. What a back to journalism. Man, you are really good at this. I'll include how Dan's work is mentioned in the story. I don't give a shit if you include how I'm in the story or not. So you can be made aware. This is like the intimidation thing, which is hilarious because you'll kneel before Zod, fuckwad. We're in charge now, not you. You can be mad. I'm making you aware that now we're in charge. How does that sound? Useful context. I'd love to speak with Dan. You're speaking with me now. Go fuck yourself. There you go. So we can include his thoughts and perspectives about Rumble in the story, which I think would benefit readers. You have readers? Last time I checked, you don't have. We got viewers. You don't have readers. So producer Jim, always entrepreneurial, wrote this beautiful little story. Oh, wait. There's more. Yeah. He says, here's what we're going to mention in the story, that we're Rumble's most watched show, whatever. I worked for Fox News, that the podcast is popular. He's not going to mention any of this stuff. This is all like him trying to grease us up. I know these losers, right? So here's Jim's responses, okay? Go to the response part. Hi, Stuart. Just taking a wild guess, but I'm guessing this will be the 1,000th or so hit piece on Rumble because you don't like our stand for free speech and the First Amendment, which is ironic because you work for your newspaper and you use those very things to your advantage to peddle conspiracies disguised as news. Yes. Dude, if that's not a... Ready? Karate man in the Wait, this is a left leg karate man, dude. I never go left leg because of my bad knee. Side kick left leg. This is like Ralph Macchio, Karate Kid. Wow. There was never a karate man. This was it. He writes, if the New York Times is willing to knowingly push a false collusion hoax for years, amongst many other hoaxes, we don't really expect a fair account of what Rumble actually does. And he's very nice here. We prefer not to participate in whatever fake news story you're going to write. Thanks for reaching out. Have a wonderful rest of the day. We don't give a shit about the New York Times, bro. You're not in charge anymore. Kneel before God.
Cutesy time is over.
Even Tapper told you. Cutesy time is over, kids. You're not in charge anymore. I'm sorry. I know it hurts. Maybe mommy get the wipies out for you. Maybe make you some s'mores. Maybe a Pop-Tart. We're in charge now. Chew on that shit. I'm serious, by the way. Don't ever email us. Don't. Because you're going to become part of the show. I have zero respect for you guys at all. Zero. You're a left-wing guy that's an actual journalist, or a guy who, doesn't share my politics, like a Glenn Greenwald, but it does actual journalism, you reach out anytime. Respect. You scumbags? Nah. You get nothing from me except kneel before Zod. We're in charge now. Quick break, because I know Stuart's interested in our advertisers too. May I recommend you try out Field of Greens? Why? Because I just had some blood work done a little while ago. Did you see my text from Dr. Neil B? He is one of these life hack doctors I love, who's always looking into life hacks and ways to make your life better. I just did a bunch of blood work. Dr. Neil shoots me a text. The blood work was amazing. A1C, apolipoprotein, cholesterol, all this stuff. And I read you the text. He's like, brother, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but keep doing it. I think it may have something to do with Field of Greens. I'm not making that up. What's Field of Greens? It's a life-changing super fruit and vegetable drink that promises your doctor, like Dr. Neil, will notice your improved health from good nutrition or your money back. The Black Friday sale also includes lean, the physician-formulated weight loss phenomenon that helps turn and burn excess fat into energy. You're asking me, Danny B, how'd you lose 30 lbs? Lean. Also, try Radiance. Come on, my skin, I've been in the sun forever. I don't even use any sunscreen. I know it's bad. I get it. I'm not telling you. I'm just saying. It doesn't look too bad for a 50-year-old cat, right? Try Radiance. It's a collagen accelerator with 4 times more health and anti-aging power than the influencer collagen. Yeah, that's on sale too. From weight loss to sleep aids, creatine to whole food bars, they're all on sale. Visit fieldofgreens.com today. This company's been with me forever. Use the code SALE. Fieldofgreens.com, use code SALE. Fieldofgreens.com. Last time, don't forget, promo code SALE at fieldofgreens.com. And our last sponsor today, before we get back to the show for Stuart, is the timer off, Stuart? Or does this go through the... Because this company, Stuart's really going to hate. Don't you think, guys? Stuart, you're going to hate this company. This is the greatest ad I'm ever going to read for Blackout Coffee. Anyone who works at the New York Times hates Blackout Coffee, which means what? You should buy it. Why? Because they are awake, but they ain't woke. Start your day off with the official coffee of the Dan Bongino show. Dan, you sound like you had a couple cups today. No, I'm just really upset that the New York Times keeps going after a friend of mine and nobody's reading them anymore and they don't like it. So drink a cup of Blackout Coffee to get you through the workday. It's bold, but it's never bitter. They use premium grade beans. It's absolutely delicious. Give it a try. Folks, support the parallel economy, but not because they just say so. The coffee's damn good. Try the cinnamon French toast, the blueberry crumble. Stuff is amazing. The folks at Blackout Coffee ship within 48 hours of roasting. So do me a favor. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. See what I'm talking about. I love this company. The owner is a patriot. They love you. The New York Times hates Blackout Coffee. That's why you need to drink it. That's blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino or use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your order. Anger the New York Times and Stewart. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee today. blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Thanks for your patience. We got great sponsors. We appreciate it. So there's more, of course, going on, folks. It is getting bad enough. The New York Times and others are upset that we're the news now, and they aren't. But everything they tell you, CNN and otherwise in the New York Times, you can assume is a lie. It's why roughly 70% of Americans use the New York Times when they run out of toilet paper. CNN as well. CNN's a little harder because there's not a print edition of a video channel. But if CNN were a newspaper and you ran out of toilet paper and had an incident, you would use CNN. So CNN is reporting, according to Breaking 911, that Kash Patel, Trump's pick to lead the FBI, and another good man, who, by the way, if the swamp gets rid of Pete, Kash is next, and then Tulsi, and then RFK. And your cabinet, keep that up a second. Your cabinet, we were joking this morning, your cabinet will be Adam Kinzinger, Mitt Romney, Jeff Flake, Rex Tillerson, and Mike Pompeo. That'll be your cabinet. The line in the sand has been drawn. They're saying that Kash Patel, CNN's reporting, has been targeted in an Iranian hack, and the actors have accessed at least some of his communications. Yeah, you stole my thunder. You see? So, folks in the chat, I'm just saying this for Stuart, because Stuart at the New York Times is probably going to report this uncritically too. Who actually believes that this is an Iranian hack? Anyone in the chat? Yes, I believe CNN that it was definitely an Iranian hack. Who actually believes that? Okay, I'm going to guess, Bongino, get on the case. The answer is freaking nobody. Folks, somebody accessed Kash Patel's email. And I would be deeply surprised if there wasn't some role of some malicious political actor involved in this too. As they say in the Queens, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I mean, why would you believe anything the media says? Remember when we saw videos of Biden tripping and falling all over the place, disappearing off camera, stumbling through speeches, trying to take the class photo at, what was it, the G7 event, and then wandering off to talk to a parachuter? Remember that? And they told us what? Do you remember the story? These are cheap fakes. These aren't real. Like, they're cheap fakes. They're actual videos. Well, it happened again yesterday. Here's our president with oatmeal for brains over in Angola, walking around, and thankfully, the Angola president catches him because Joe Biden, who, of course, can't, at this point, is really having a tough time. And listen, again, I wish no ill will on this guy personally. I want to be clear. I don't want to see this. There we go. Again, folks, how much can we please? Folks, there's 40 days left. To the Biden team, I know I'm not your friend. You don't like me. I don't like you. Just like I don't like Stewart in the New York Times, okay? I don't wish ill on anybody. Can you please just plant this guy in the White House or Delaware? It's over. The real president right now, I'm sorry, is not with the political power, may not have any executive power, but the political power is with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is dictating border policy, drug policy at the border, tariff policy, economic policy. All of these tech leaders and business leaders are going to Mar-a-Lago. They're not going to the White House. It is clear as day. You can ignore it all you want. That, yes, there's one president at a time. He is the president. I wish he wasn't, but he is. We're stuck with him for 40 days. He has no political power at all. His political bank account's been drained. He's humiliating the United States around the world. Just put the guy in the White House or Delaware. Go out on the beach. Have a good time. You've done enough damage to the country. Just stop. It's almost over. Let it go. Here it is. Yeah, there's Donald Trump. Really, with the O Canada Truth Social Post, he's got more done with that communist up north in the last like 25 minutes, probably on the phone with him, than Biden has in 3.5 years. Just, Motley Crue, girl, don't go away, mad, just go away. Biden, just go away. We don't, at this point, we're done. You pardon, you have the constitutional power to pardon him. It was a disgrace. It's a black eye on the country. Just please stop. It's embarrassing at this point. Here's some good news. Well, in addition to it being my 50th spin, I can't believe it. I'm like really shocked by this. Well, folks in the chat, when you were 50, did you feel officially old? Like 40, remember, like 40's the new 30, like 50's the new nothing. Like 50's still 50. And you know what I'm saying? 50's not like the new 40. 50's like the new 60, I think. I don't know. Like when you're 50, you're 50. But there's actual good news in addition to me being 50 years old. Oh, look at it, the damn Bongino chat. Don't get dead. Don't get dead. So thankfully, thank you, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I love you. I've not gotten dead yet, 50 years. But folks, there are other people around the country who are starting to follow the Dan Bongino principle of, is it bad enough yet? This is something we discussed on the show often. And, again, we use a lot of humor on the show, but I'm serious about it because I've lived through two of these. I've lived through two significant political punctuated equilibrium moments where the dinosaurs get wiped out. One of them, I was obviously very young. I'm not going to pretend I was knee deep in politics. I was, 10 years old. But the Reagan Revolution, where the entire country seemed to seismically shift to the right in just a period of a few years. But I lived through it again in New York City with the Rudy Giuliani era. And I'm going to tell you something. Things have to get really, really bad for hardcore Democrat voters to wake up to the evils of left-wing communism, and that's what it is in the United States. So I would ask the question a lot. We even have shirts that say it. Is it bad enough yet? And that doesn't go away. We're getting there. We're getting there. I want to show you this clip out of Chicago. Folks, the worst mayor in the country at this point, I think it's hard to argue, is Brandon Johnson in Chicago. I mean, how bad of a mayor do you have to be? This guy, that's a good point. Avita knows Chicago well from college, and Michael's was born in Chicago, but Lori Lightfoot. Remember Lori Lightfoot? He actually makes Lori Lightfoot look like Giuliani from New York. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. Imagine being in Chicago where you got this city council full of commies and you push a tax hike and you don't get a single commie vote for it. Do you know how bad you have to suck? This guy is destroying. He wants to pull down the police cameras. So it's like, rapes, robberies. At least you're not on tape and get away with it. Some residents showed up to talk to Brandon Johnson at one of these little public meetings. It did not end well, folks. If we can shift the politics of inner cities like I went through with Giuliani in New York and even start pulling 25% of the black vote there and the Hispanic vote, or maybe more, the Democrat Party's finished. Their socialism will have been fully exposed. Watch this.
You told Trump you ain't gonna blink? Well, we ain't either. You ain't above the law. And where you gonna run to when Trump pours that Trump card out on you?
There's a 10-year prison sentence when you want to stand up here for those illegals.
You all sit up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaign and double down that you would not raise property taxes. I ain't gonna do that. You campaign went around doing that. And here we are right now. You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million.
Is it bad enough yet? It is for those residents. Folks, don't tell me, oh, we're never going to win the inner city vote. Illinois is a lost cause. New York's a lost cause. California is a lost cause. You know, I may have thought that 5 years ago. But it's gotten so bad right now that causes you thought were lost may be found again. Well, show us some evidence. Okay, that's what I'm here for. Because unlike Stewart, you got the timer on Stewart from the New York Times, I actually do investigative reporting and back things up with receipts. Unlike Stewart, the PP tape. Have you ever seen the tape? No. A dude told another dude who told another dude. That's the New York Times idea. So here's what evidence looks like. Here's evidence that political winds are changing. There is no bigger political animal anywhere than Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. None. By the way, I met him at the UFC. Doesn't change my political commentary at all. It was very nice. However, Eric Adams is a terrible mayor. He has been. He still is. Eric Adams, a liberal mayor of New York City. This guy is licking his finger and sensing the political winds. He's the mayor of liberal New York City. And yet yesterday, he's talking about deporting illegal criminals from the city. No. Yes. No. What are we celebrating? No. He should have done it a long time ago. I'm just telling you the Dan Bongino theory of is it bad enough yet? I think we're almost there.
Let me. You know what's interesting? And I was talking to the team the other day. I want you to all go back and Google Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Google what they said about those who commit crimes in our city and what they said in our country. They said those who commit crimes need to get out right away. That was their position. So this is not a new position, because in the state of in the era of cancel culture, no one is afraid to be honest about the truth. Well, cancel me, because I'm going to protect the people of this city. And if you come into this country, in this city, and think you're going to harm innocent New Yorkers and innocent migrants and asylum seekers, this is not the mayor you want to be in the city under.
Again, unlike Stewie, we actually produce receipts. That's an actual receipt. We're like the grocery store. Folks, the winds are changing. Now, New York State is still busy. I just saw something like they're counting votes still. Amazing. California's like, we just decided a congressional race. The election, the election feels like it was 7 years ago. California's just decided. You don't find it weird, like Stewie from the New York Times? Gee, why do people think elections in this country are bullshit or not free and fair? Gee, I don't know. Just about every liberal state in the country spends weeks counting votes. And oh, look, they never seem to go in the Republicans' direction. So strange how that happens. That's a big coincidence. Yeah, we get it. Folks, there's an awakening going on. Again, it's happening late, but I'll take it. I'll take it. These are called receipts. Here's another one. This guy, Charlemagne, very popular show. Has a really large black audience, which matters because this is a community we need to do better outreach to. We're not done, folks. We got about 15% of the vote. I want 40. Well, that's not possible. Really? They told us the same thing about the Hispanic vote. We're almost at 50%. So I don't accept not possible. Very popular audience. Here he is talking about the pardon of Hunter Biden, one of the biggest scandals in U.S. history, that Joe and Hunter Biden running an international crime operation are going to get away from it because Joe Biden essentially pardoned himself by pardoning his kid. Check this out.
Hunter was singled out because he broke the law. That's number one. He was singled out because he had an illegal gun and tax evasion charges, not because he was the president's son. And I honestly don't care. I just want Democrats to stop acting like they are on this moral high ground politically when they have shown us they're not, whether it's skipping the primary process when Biden stepped down and things like Biden pardoning his son. Stop acting like y'all the pure party and Republicans aren't. And it also shows me elected officials can do whatever they want as long as they have the political will and courage to do it.
We need more of this. More Kylo Ren style. We need more. Folks, this stuff matters. We're not going to get people overnight. There's not always a road to Damascus moment, okay? Sometimes people take a long time to come over. This is why I've been telling you, as MAGA supporters and supporters of the movement, some people take a while. Some people take a long time. It's up to us to open the tent. It doesn't mean you got to trust everyone with sensitive information. They could turn around and screw you in a minute. If they weren't there from the beginning, I have very little faith in them. But if they're going to vote for us, don't say no. Why? Because I can't say this enough to you. And the Wall Street Journal wrote a really good piece about this the other day. Donald Trump's greatest gift to the Republican Party is not going to be the Abraham Accords, the tax cuts, the judicial appointments, the regulatory reform. Those are great things. Point stipulated. I'm telling you, his lasting gift to the party that nobody in the modern era has been able to crack is his ability to speak to working class voters, black voters, Hispanic voters, Asian voters, Puerto Rican voters, because you say Hispanic voters, they share nothing in common besides a language. Puerto Rican voters, voters from Spain who may have come over here, they don't even live close to each other. They speak the same language. Saying, oh, you and Australians are the same. What are you talking about? Wall Street Journal. It's a good piece, man. It's worth your time. Donald Trump's Rainbow Coalition. His biggest vote gains from 2020 came in states with the most immigrants. And he seems to have broken the Democrat monopoly on the black vote. Folks, this is, if you listen to my podcast, Stuart, go back and do some investigative reporting. You go earn your freaking money, okay? Kneel before Zion. Do what we tell you. We're in charge now. Get on it. Whippity, come on. Lickety split. Get on it. Go back and listen to my podcast from the first few days. I mean, the first few days I did in 2015. I have been talking about the Republican Party's inability. I mean, I'm not the only one. It's not like I discovered the problem. However, having run in Maryland, which has a significant black population and a really large, wealthy, prosperous black middle and upper middle class, I knocked on a lot of doors. I have been talking about this problem for years. Trump has solved the problem, or made attempts to solve the problem, and made inroads. It is going to be his greatest gift. Did you see this tweet by Mario Nafal, by the way? Now you see how bad Kamala's campaign screwed up with all these groups. She failed to flip a single county in the 2024 election. That's the first time this has happened since the halcyon days of 1932. You're talking about almost 100 years. She didn't flip a single county. Do you know how bad you have to suck? How bad do you have to suck to be with an identity politics candidate where you've made that the bedrock of your campaign and you didn't flip a single county? You'd think the New York Times be looking into that, how bad they suck. Look at this map. How do you not flip a single county? That's almost impossible. Folks, we have broken the media's monopoly on the information exchange happening in this country. We did this. All of you out there. And on this 50th birthday of mine, I'm going to tell you, man, I can't thank you enough. There are a lot of people who talk in front of a microphone, a lot of them. You made this show powerful. And through our investments in Rumble and elsewhere, we've given people an ability to speak. And because you have the ability to speak, people like the New York Times and the Washington Post, their business model of lying for profit is under attack. And you know what broke them most of all? COVID. Forcing people to stick a needle into their arm, put a freaking dumbass face diaper on their face. Look, it's going to protect you against COVID. Really? That's amazing. Every single freaking person who put a mask on got COVID. It's the most ineffective. Imagine that with condoms. Hey, put a condom on. And every girl you have sex with gets pregnant. You'd be like, that's the worst condom ever. This is the freaking mask thing. And morons fell for it. COVID broke the media monopoly because no one believed him anymore. Imagine being steward at the New York Times, right? The paper's like, investigative data indicates that masks are an extremely effective tool, Dr. Fauci said. And every freaking person in your household wearing a mask gets sick. You're like, wait, these people are kind of full of shit. Why do I bring this up? The COVID fiasco broke the media. You want to find out how we're in charge? This is how. Here's our good friend Eric Daughtry. There's a new COVID committee report that released its final report after a 2-year investigation. Did you hear about the findings? That our NIH, your taxpayer-funded National Institutes of Health, funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab. How does that make you feel, kids? You're busting your ass for a living while the government steals your money. And who are they giving it to? The Wuhan lab to infect the world with a deadly virus. Is it that special? They note the Constitution can't be suspended in times of crisis. We needed a report on that? I was always under the impression that the Constitution wasn't a suggestion. What do I know? I mean, I'm not an attorney or anything. COVID emerging from a lab leak is, quote, not a conspiracy theory. Thanks. We said that 5 years ago. Peter Daszak should never again receive taxpayer funds. Public health officials have lost the trust of the people. Trump's Operation Warp Speed was a success. The COVID response was rampant with fraud, waste, and abuse. The prescription cannot be worse than the disease. Lockdowns had horrific consequences. Folks, you remember this from Fauci on the vax? You were lied to. You were lied to over and over and over by the New York Times. And by the way, one of the things the New York Times guy, this clown Stewart, he's like, oh, man, you guys never criticized Trump. I'm a MAGA supporter, dumbass. It's an opinion show. And by the way, do you even listen to the show, you stupid? We disagree with Trump on a lot of things. Do you even listen to? How do we feel about tariffs, guys? Didn't you hear me mention it yesterday? Don't like them. We just talked about it yesterday. I said if they escalate them to de-escalate them, I could be talked into it. We don't agree on abortion. We actually had a disagreement on the show about it. I don't like warp speed. I don't like the end result of it. I like the fact that he pushed these entities to get something done. However, the something that resulted, I don't agree with. What are you talking about? We're not little lemming jerkwads like you. That's how you guys fell for this shit. Here's your expert, Dr. Fauci. Is this a Maze Moore clip? Hat tip the great Maze Moore. Thank you for the happy birthday, Maze. We appreciate it. Here's Fauci with 27 different opinions on the vax in just a matter of a couple years. Check this out.
You might have virus in your nasopharynx, and even though you really feel well, you could inadvertently pass it on to someone else.
It is very unlikely that a vaccinated person, even if there's a breakthrough infection, would transmit it to someone else.
If you're vaccinated, you really don't need to worry about getting it in a way that's serious or transmitting it.
You nailed it, Chris. That's correct. Okay. That's absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. You said it correctly. The risk is extremely low of getting infected, of getting sick, or of transmitting it to anybody else. You should care, because if you get infected and you're not vaccinated, there's a chance, maybe a likelihood, that you will be part of the dynamics of the continuation of the chain of transmission. Namely, you will inadvertently or innocently transmit it to someone else, who will then transmit it to someone else. And I don't think anyone would intentionally want to be part of the transmission chain. You want to be a dead end to the virus. So when the virus gets to you, you stop it. You don't allow it to use you as the stepping stone to the next person. Vaccinated people are clearly capable of transmitting the infection to an uninfected person.
Stewart from the New York Times, like, which one of those takes do you actually believe? I thought he was an expert. He's an expert, right? He's like a doctor and all. You know, I'm not a doctor. And guys, I figured it out pretty quick. You know what happened? A lot of people who got the vaccine wound up getting COVID. I was like, wait, that dude just told me he got the vaccine. Now he's sick. But you're not a doctor. I'm not a freaking imbecile. Put on the mask. Put on everybody who wore that got sick. Oh, here's the New York Times. Dana G. Smith. Now you see why no one watches the New York Times content or reads their content anymore? It's time to wear a mask again, health experts say. Listen to this shit. There is strong evidence that masks help to reduce the transmission of several respiratory viruses. You guys are good. You guys are good at the New York Times. Thanks for reaching out, Stu. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Don't email us ever again. Don't waste your time. The oxygen you sucked out of the universe while typing that thing is a total waste, because we're going to humiliate you because we're in charge now. I know you don't like it, but I don't give a shit. Neither does my audience. We're the boss. We're the news, not you. That's got to hurt, right? 100 years of lying to America, billions of dollars of wasted money down the drain, lying to people, and me and Evita sitting here in the back of a converted apartment. He says everybody's talking and there's no action. Why did he say that? He said that because everybody's talking and there's no action. Please let this post here serve to represent that if the hostages are not released prior to me taking office as president, there will be, in all caps, all hell to pay in the Middle East and those in charge who perpetrated these atrocities against humanity. Those responsible will be hit harder than anyone's been hit in the long and storied history of the United States of America. All caps, release the hostages now. Folks, if this, again, for all of the talk about, oh my gosh, we don't like the Trump tweets or whatever, I don't really give a shit about your opinion about the Trump tweets. Let's just be straight. This guy has a very Reagan-esque quality when it comes to national security, okay? I'm not a big interventionist, but Donald Trump understands that if we let foreign terrorist operators take our people and hold them hostage and nothing happens, folks, what's going to happen? They're going to take more hostages. It's not hard to figure out. You don't need to be a freaking SWAT analyst or a game theorist to understand that. He has a very common sense view of things. What are they doing to get back to hostages? Nothing. So what if we kick their ass and take them back? Well, maybe they won't take hostages again. Freaking genius. Gosh, this guy's presidency can't come soon enough. Folks, I put at the title of today's show that Biden's reign of destruction, he has 40 plus days to screw this country up. And, if you doubt he can do, I should have thrown this in the show today. There's a Wall Street Journal article out there from yesterday. And it talks about how lame duck presidents like Biden is now can do an immense amount of damage. It goes into this long list of stories of what Bill Clinton and Barack Obama did out the door. Folks, this guy is not done giving the double-barreled middle finger to American citizens. He's pushing through really awful far-left communist judges that are going to be there for life. He's trying to push through changes at the National Labor Relations Board so the companies can't operate freely without pressure. He is really desperately trying to screw over the country by, quote, Trump-proofing, which means citizen-proofing against you. This guy is a train wreck. There it is. A lame duck can still swim. Tevi Troy. Read this article. It's really good. Biden still has all the powers of the presidency, and like some of his predecessors, he's using them vigorously. And of course, where does that lead to? Why did I open up with Biden's reign of destruction continuing for 40 more days? Because, folks, him pardoning his kid is really bad for the country. I covered it yesterday, but the pardon of Hunter Biden is making us look like an international laughingstock. And again, I don't want to repeat yesterday's show because the talking points and stuff and all that, shit like that. You don't need the same show twice. But what I said yesterday and what I wanted that top line talking point out of that, I wanted you to remember, is that yes, this is a good messaging opportunity for us to prove what we've been saying the entire time. Democrats are full of shit. They don't care at all about the rule of law or anything like that. They're full of crap. However, make no mistake, there are real ramifications for this. The countries around the world that need to respect us to keep us safe so they don't attack us, they don't hit us, they don't attack our interests, attack our economic interests. I'm not just talking about national security. They don't respect us anymore because of this guy, Joe Biden. They're laughing at us about what happened yesterday. This was a freaking disgrace. Now, there's a lot of red pilling going on right now. Charlemagne and others who are never going to be Republicans, but all of a sudden, now that the election's over, they're starting to recognize that the Democrats are full of shit. Everything they say is a lie. Trump's the threat to democracy. The threat to democracy comes from them, not from us. Trump got elected, again, democratically in a constitutional republic. Joe Biden got elected because they elected, you get it? Because of a COVID pandemic and because of his party being afraid of Bernie Sanders. That's it. And then they undemocratically pushed him out with no primary for a candidate who amazingly sucked even worse. So I don't want to hear Jack Squat and Jack freaking Left Town about how the Democrats are the party of law and order. Give me a break. Go sit in the corner, put the moron cap on, and shut up. Put the cotton in your soup cooler because I don't want to hear it. Here's a little quick supercut here. Remember the Democrats, about 20 seconds. No one's above the law. No one's above the law certainly seems like the Biden family is. I'm going to tell you what they're up to, too. Check this out.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
Who just said it? Someone said, USA Trump for life in the chat. I understand your comment. I know what you're saying. He says it's a two-tier justice system. USA Trump for life. I appreciate your comment. I know what you're saying. I'm not trying to be a dick here. But it's not a two-tier justice system for them. For us, it is. You're correct. They don't see it that way. They are communists. And I need you all to understand this. I'm being candid. I'm not being trying to be a smartass about it. They don't see it as a two-tier justice system. The justice system in a communist socialist regime like we're living under now sees the justice system as a weapon of subjugation. They are using it in the only tier they believe exists, subjugation. So they don't see it as a two-tier justice system at all. It's important you understand that, because then you tactically fight back the wrong way by pointing that out to them as if it's an argument. And you say to them, hey, man, this is hypocritical. You guys said this. Meanwhile, you meant that. You said no one's above the law. Meanwhile, you just pardoned Hunter Biden. The only reason I bring this stuff up, so why are you bringing it up? Because if we don't remove them from power, the hypocrisy argument against them doesn't work. They will never change. They are commies. They care about power. They have one rule of justice. We're in charge and you're not. Middle finger D-bags. That's their rule. The only way to stop them is to do what we did, is to remove them from power and hope some third party listening understands our argument that these people are the real threat to democracy. That's why I do what I do every single day. I want to point this clip out to Andy McCabe back again to show you how the media has played into this entire thing. They are now engaged in a massive cover-up of what is unquestionably one of the biggest scandals in American history, the Biden pardon of his son for potential crimes Biden himself, Joe Biden, we know was involved in. If there were crimes committed in this money laundering network they were involved in, Joe Biden was a part of it. 10% for the big guy. I've got to pay all Pop's bills. Those were Hunter Biden's texts. We know that. So this goes to show you how corrupted our government is. How these people, they are straight up socialists and commies. Andy McCabe, again, was the deputy director, acting director of the FBI, while they were targeting Trump for spying and making up the Russia collusion hoax. Perfect for CNN to bring him on to comment on this, because it proves my point again, that these people care about one thing and one thing only. People like McCabe, they can use as tools to weaponize government against and subjugate their political opponents. Watch this.
Republicans are really seizing on the time frame here, right? Including the senator-elect from Indiana, Jim Banks, who said Joe Biden issued a pardon to Hunter Biden for any crimes that he might have committed since 2014. Why such a specific year? Well, Hunter Biden just so happened to join the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian energy firm, in that same year, 2014. So corrupt. What do you make of the time frame here?
Well, I mean, my initial impression was this is the president's desire to protect him for the longest period that reflects the president's time of service in the White House. But nevertheless, the effect of that very broad 10-year time frame is, ironically, it will perpetuate the conspiracy theories and the accusations around Hunter Biden. They'll never be resolved criminally, but it gives his detractors the opportunity to say, oh, well, he must have done something in 2014 to require a pardon going back that far.
Notice the Republicans pounce. Did you hear it? Republicans are seizing on this opportunity. Again, making the story about what? Not the biggest political scandal, certainly of the last few years, Biden pardoning his kid for crimes he may have been involved in, right? He may have been involved in these. That's not the scandal. The scandal is Republicans, quote, seizing on it. And then they bring on this scumbag, Andy McCabe. And Andy McCabe, I know people send this to you. I want you to see this. Well, I'm looking you right in the eye. You are a scumbag, a piece of shit. And I want you to know, me and all of my listeners know it. We know exactly what you did. You're a lying piece of filth. You're an embarrassment to your family. Everybody I know in the FBI knows you said you were a punk and a loser walking around flaunting your wife's money. Your wife's a doctor, right? Ran for office as a Democrat. I heard you were telling people, I don't need my salary. Like you're some kind of big shot. You're a piece of shit. And I want you to know, I know it, and so do all my listeners. You're garbage. You're a straight-up commie, authoritarian punk who was given a little bit of power. You probably got beaten up a lot in high school, which I feel bad about. It gave you a complex. So what did you do? You took it out on America, and you became everything everyone hates, a government bully because you're a piece of shit. I hope everybody shows this to you. You're filth. You're absolute garbage. I've spent the last few years of my life studying what you did to destroy the Trump family because of your personal vendetta. You're disgusting. Notice how his default response is that the pardon that goes back to Biden's time as the vice presidency, where he was the point man on Ukraine and collecting millions of dollars through his family, through foreign governments. His default response is it's going to feed conspiracy theories instead of acknowledging that the activity happened and should probably be investigated. This guy is disgusting. We need Kash Patel yesterday at the FBI to weed out absolute pieces of garbage like this guy. Garbage. Garbage.
Cutesy time is over.
Even Jake knows it. Even Jake knows it. Cutesy time is freaking over. Judge Bongino has ruled, proving another one of my points, that the hypocrisy doesn't matter to the left. It matters to you because you have principles. Someone says to me, hey, Republican administrations, Trump administration, the Bush administration, have run deficits. Yes, they have. Deficits are a bad thing. What? Oh, you were waiting for me to defend government debt because of Republican debt? No. You see how easy that is? You see how simple that is? What's your position on life? Conception to natural death, we should defend it. Well, Donald Trump doesn't share that position. Yeah, I disagree. You see how easy that is? You see how easy it is when you're not a gutless, ballless eunuch who's been castrated with your little balls on a jar? You see how easy that is? Democrats are losers. They are castrated losers with not a shred of principle. I'm in a mood today because I'm still in shock that this thing happened over the weekend. I cannot believe that he did it. I can believe it, but I can't. I told you he was going to do it, but I'm still stunned that there's no penalty for throwing Biden under the bus. None. None. Who was it, Scott Jennings on CNN, who said in one of these clips, he said, to the Democrats out there, to you losers, and I'm talking to you Democrats, losers. You're losers. I understand. You look in a mirror anyway. I know you want to be anyone else but yourself. You don't have to die on this hill. You can have a shred of human dignity and you can say, hey, man, this was wrong. I believe in justice. This guy clearly got a sweetheart deal. He got busted in the sweetheart deal. He was probably going to get another sweetheart deal. And his dad gave him the ultimate sweetheart deal, pardoning him for anything he may have. If we find out Hunter Biden murdered someone, he can't go to jail because of it. You don't have to die on this hill, loser Democrats. You can have a shred of human dignity. You want to see a guy here with absolutely no human dignity whatsoever? Folks in the chat, let me run a test for you. Who is the dumbest male member of Congress? Anyone? Anyone know? Not the dumbest member. We know that's AOC. Let's see if someone grabs it first. Who is the dumbest male member of the male here? Don't remember, dumbest female AOC. She always wins every time. That's not even close. Oh, no, you got the name wrong. No, I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. HKC guy 42. Someone said Dan Goldberg. No, it's Goldman. HKC guy 42. Dan Goldman. You are correct. Dan Goldman, the dumbest male member of Congress by far. Here he is on CNN. And CNN's like, hey, man, listen, we're going to play this clip of you talking about how great Joe Biden is for not pardoning this kid. You would think he'd come on and say, yeah, man, that's what I said. I meant it. The pardon was wrong. You could say you love Joe Biden. You'd say whatever, but that was wrong. No freaking dignity at all. Their balls Write them all right in a jar because they're losers. Do not ever be like this guy. Have some human dignity. Your kids are watching. Watch this.
In July of 2023, just after that plea deal fell through, this is what you said. I want to watch.
Do you think a pardon for his son would be a mistake?
Yes, and I don't think there's any chance that President Biden is going to do that, unlike his predecessor, who pardoned all of his friends and anyone who had any access to him. And I think you see that in this case, where he kept on, and Merrick Garland kept on, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney to investigate the president's son. If there is not an indication of the independence of the Department of Justice beyond that, I don't know what we could look for.
What does that feel like, watching yourself back then, reassuring people that Biden was not going to issue a pardon for his son?
Yeah, and I think that if that plea agreement and that plea deal had gone through, there would be no pardon. That was a satisfactory outcome.
It had already fallen through.
That only was... Sorry?
When you reacted, this was when the deal had fallen through.
You understand what she's saying? The sweetheart plea deal Hunter Biden was offered that the judge rejected had already fallen through when Goldman said, hey, man, this guy's a wonderful guy. He won't pardon. So now what does he do? He comes on. Instead of just saying, I was wrong. I can't believe he pardoned him. It was a mistake. He goes, well, the deal would have been, the deal had already fallen through. You get my point with talking about this? The show is meant to be tactical. Edutainment, man. Had to have BDP, right? Educational entertainment. You're never going to beat a communist by pointing out their hypocrisy. You can only hope a third party's listening. You beat them by divorcing them from power. That is it. That is it. Dan Goldman doesn't give a shit about looking like a hypocrite. He is a communist, and you should call them as such. Every single time, except no other explanation. If it looks like a commie and it talks like a commie and it walks like a commie, it's a commie, period. Folks, I got an article coming up for you, and I'm going to prove it to you. This is all about protecting a bigger crime operation involving what was going on in Ukraine, Obama, Joe Biden, his brother, and many other people in the National Security Council and elsewhere who knew what was going on and said nothing. I've got the receipts. I'm not done with this story, and you're not either. Folks, I've had my Helix mattress for several years now. I just got a new one, moved in the new house. It is the best mattress to sleep on. I have a Midnight Lux. I love it. Listen, you're on the mattress 8-10 hours a night sometimes. That's a long time to be on a terrible mattress. And poor sleep, your days are going to be long and they're going to be really horrible. You need your sleep. That's when your body heals. Helix is the award-winning mattress brand recommended by many, me included, for improving sleep. I'm sleeping better than my old mattress. It's really improved my everyday life. Less aches and pains. You know, I got a bad shoulder. Sleeping on my Helix has been a game changer for me. I'm a side sleeper, and they'll personalize the mattress for you. For every type of sleeper, Helix mattress helps you choose firmness or height that fits you. You want to know which Helix mattress is right for you? Take the innovative sleep quiz to find out your match. And right now, get 20% off plus 2 free pillows for all mattress orders when you order at helixsleep.com/Dan, HELIX, helixsleep.com/Dan. That's helixsleep.com/Dan for 20% off and 2 free pillows for all mattress orders. Thank you, Helix. This company's been with me for a long time in the show. From the Bongino Army. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I really appreciate them being here. Okay, folks, this is not about Hunter. I said it yesterday. The father doesn't care about Hunter. If he cared about Hunter, he wouldn't have made Hunter a part of his international criminal enterprise, period. Okay? This reminds me, you ever see the movie Heat? I love the movie. Unfortunately, Robert De Niro's in it, who's turned into a raging lunatic loser. But it's such a great movie, the bank robbery scene. Well, long and short of it, you know at the end when they're trying to find a driver, the Danny Trejo character bails, so they need a driver for the bank robbery, and they go in a restaurant and they grab the guy for the driver, and he's working as a short order cook, and they're like, hey, we need a driver, and the guy winds up dying. What I'm getting at is De Niro knows he's pulling this guy into a criminal enterprise. It's not a mystery. Do you understand Joe Biden did the same thing with his son? He clearly knew they were engaged in some, at best, unsavory activities, and he drew his drug-addicted son into it anyway. As I said yesterday in that viral clip, thank you to all those influencers I mentioned before, I don't want to hear shit about this guy being a good dad. He's not a good dad. He's the worst dad. He's a loser. He only pardoned his son to get himself out of trouble. Miranda Devine called this a long time ago. Here's a clip from her on Tucker Carlson's show. Miranda wrote the book, disclosure, I published the book with my company. However, it's nothing to do with this segment, but you all deserve to know that. The book's called Laptop from Hell, and it's the definitive account of the Hunter Biden laptop. Miranda knows all about Hunter Biden and this fiasco of a crime enterprise with his dad he was involved in, right? Here she is talking about this. This is months ago. This how Hunter Biden is definitely going to be pardoned. She called it, and she knows why. Check this out.
What happens to Hunter?
Oh, he'll get pardoned.
Okay, so he's been convicted on
gun felonies in Delaware, and also he pleaded guilty on the first day of the trial in California in September to these various tax felonies, all of which, well, certainly the tax felonies should carry a jail sentence. But he's to be sentenced on both of those after the election. And even though Joe Biden has said, oh, no, I will never pardon my son, he said that once, and he didn't really say it very vigorously. He was just asked in I think a CBS interview, and he said, will you pardon your son? He goes, no. And that was it. After that, the White House has been vigorous, said, oh, no, the president said he won't do it. Have no doubt that he's going to pardon Hunter. As anybody would. I mean, really, if it was your son, would you want him to go to jail? So
I'd pardon my son in a second.
Of course, everybody would. And therefore, Joe Biden will get away with it. Like everyone will say, the media will say, oh, it's his only surviving son. How can you blame him? If anyone criticizes it, they'll be called cruel and heartless. So, of course.
So Joe Biden's going to get away with, probably not for eternity will he get away with it, but for the here and now, he's getting away with it.
Yeah.
You hear how her and Tucker, but they instinctively know that the media is going to run with the he's a good father narrative. Now, keep in mind, nobody gave a damn about Don Trump Jr. or Eric Trump when they were maliciously hauled in front of Congress by subpoena multiple times for fictitious Russian collusion hoax charges that were debunked by thousands of different independent operators, me included. Nobody cared. Nobody said this is out of line. This is Donald Trump's kid. He's the father. Leave him alone. Don't interfere with the father-son relationship. Why? Because exactly what I said to you in the beginning of the show. Because they're what? Folks in the chat, they're commies. Commies don't care. They don't give a damn. They will lie about everything all the time for any reason. They don't care at all. Of course, here's Jill Biden, who probably signed the damn pardon herself. Here's Jill Biden yesterday asked if she supports the pardon. Of course I support the pardon myself. Why? She supports the pardon because she knows Poppy, Joe Biden, is knee-deep in this this quagmire. Watch this.
Dr. Biden, what changed on the pardon front?
Again, no sense of remorse, accountability. Instant response. Of course she does. Because Pop Dukes is knee-deep in it. I want to go back to Miranda now on a hit yesterday. Again, because she wrote the book on this. Here's Miranda discussing the issue the Biden family has. And this is why she, quote, Jill Biden, supports the pardon of her son. Because it's about the whole family. And I'm telling you, Barack Obama knew. I'm going to prove it to you. He knew these guys were taking money from Ukraine and elsewhere. And I believe they were exchanging sensitive information from Joe Biden in exchange for that money. Huge scandal. Watch this.
Your theory then is that he's got to put an umbrella of protection around specific family members, maybe more than two, in order to prevent Congress from going after what they believe was wrongdoing, as they have chased for 4 years.
Yes, obviously Hunter is the most involved in all the China and Ukraine and Romania, etc. But Jim Biden, Joe Biden's younger brother, Hunter's uncle, was also involved in some of the China deals with Hunter. And then there are other family members who received money. And I think James Comer in the Oversight Committee did a pretty good job of following the money trail and seeing where it led from those sort of shady oligarchs and Chinese CCP members through to various cutouts and then eventually to the bank accounts of several Biden family members, including Joe Biden himself, although we were told that was a loan repayment from Jim Biden to Joe Biden on those 2 checks.
Hat tip Fox News and at Western Lensman, another great video account. Yes, Miranda, thank you. This is not just about Hunter. This is about Joe. It's about Jim Biden. It's about other Biden family members. It's about Obama. This is not going away. They don't care about Hunter. I don't want to hear jack squat about he's a good daddy. He's a loser. A loser. I can get to the spot, but do me a favor. Put the Washington Post thing up quick. I'm going to get back to it again in a second. Just throw it out. I just want them to see it before this. Folks, Obama knew. Read this headline. Think about this for the next minute or so. Diplomat tells investigators he raised alarms in 2015. Wow. About Hunter Biden's Ukraine work, but was rebuffed. Whose diplomats? 2015. Obama's. Hey, nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. Guaranteed perfection every single bite. And right now, you can save on unforgettable gifts with 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Delicious steaks, plus score an extra $30 off with promo code Bongino. With 5 generations of experience, they consistently deliver the world's best steak experience. And the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages featuring gourmet favorites. Paul and I are planning to send some Omaha Steaks to family for the holidays. We're stocking up ourselves because we love it. We have a lot of parties planned, my 50th, and there will be some Omaha Steaks at the Bongino house. We're always ready. From their legendary steaks to their perfectly sized desserts, save 50% off site-wide for a limited time at omahasteaks.com. Their burgers are amazing too. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code Bongino. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com, OMAHA, and an extra $30 off with promo code Bongino. Minimum purchase may apply. And our last sponsor today, what's the best gift this holiday season? Years or decades off your appearance, because every day people look at your face and your jawline. Introducing Genucel's jawline treatment with dual peptide and MDL technology. Genucel's most advanced ever. The jawline treatment not only helps tighten saggy jawlines, but it helps plump the layers of your skin to help contour, define, and sculpt the jawline and neck area within minutes. People go overseas and spend thousands of dollars to get rid of sagging jawlines or double chins. They should try Genucel first because no one else has the technology. And with the Genucel immediate effects, you can see tightening in minutes. The results get better every day. And just in time for Christmas and the holiday season, save over 70% off with Genucel's complete skincare package featuring the jawline treatment and the immediate effects. You'll even get Genucel's XV wrinkle treatment included. It's simple. Go to Genucel.com/Dan today. Start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow for those family get-togethers. And as a special holiday gift, every package order includes a bonus beauty box with 2 skincare bestsellers. All orders are automatically upgraded to free priority shipping. Genucel.com/Dan, GENUCEL.com/Dan. Check it out. Thanks, Genucel. Okay. You heard that from Miranda Devine. You saw the Washington Post headline. I'm going to bring it up again in a second. Here's Mike Davis. He was on War Room with Steve Bannon yesterday. Mike Davis is one of the best people out there. Mike Benz is the deep state guy. Mike Davis is the lawfare guy. Don't confuse the two. Davis is amazing in his own right. Davis understands Hunter Biden and the Biden family have a real problem here too. And ladies and gentlemen, we can't let this go. It is not our job as Republicans on the congressional side to overlook Democrat abuses of power just because it's convenient to move on. I want accountability here. They've done it to us, but that's not the reason we're doing it. They violated the people's trust, not the Republican Party's trust. Watch this.
The reason that Joe Biden did it, obviously, was to protect Joe Biden and the rest of the family. And I would say this is the first pardon for Hunter Biden. Just wait until Joe Biden pardons the rest of the Biden family and himself, because guess what? As House Oversight Chairman James Comer has clearly documented with bank statements, these scumbag Bidens, it seems like every scumbag Biden except for the granddaughter, who they wouldn't claim, has taken over $23 million from these corrupt foreign entities. It's gone into their bank accounts. What the hell were the Bidens selling for $23 million?
Folks, we're not talking about small amounts of money. The problem I see with the Republican Party and the swampier version of it in the past is there's this, oh, let's move on attitude. Let's not move on, folks. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to make a really simple and candid argument for you. This does not happen to anyone else. People are tired of the hierarchical system the left has imposed upon us, where the elites get a free pass and you get screwed every freaking time. If you don't pay your taxes, Hunter Biden had an issue there, a big one. If you were to illegally buy a gun and then throw it in a garbage can somewhere after an incident and then make up a story about it later on, no one's going to say, let's move on. It is not time to move on. It's time to show Democrats, Republicans, libertarians, communists, and anyone else that this is a country of laws. That this, remember in the beginning, no one's above the law. Well, no one is above the law. And Hunter Biden isn't either. Dan, he's been pardoned. Fine, he's been pardoned. Doesn't mean you can't haul his ass in front of Congress. If he lies, perjury's a new crime. Do you know that? Folks, nobody moves on when you do something. You get caught jaywalking, you're going to get a freaking ticket in New York somewhere if someone's got a political bone to pick with you. No one's going to say, let's move on. This guy's involved in this massive money exchanging scheme with foreign countries through his dad and the family name, which they admitted to. He admitted to it in an interview. My last name wasn't Biden. He admitted to it. No one's moving on. If you did this, you would be screwed. Put up the Washington Post thing again. Obama knew, folks. Look at this article in the Washington Post. They're talking about diplomats working overseas under the Obama-Biden administration in 2015. They told investigators they had already raised alarms about what Hunter Biden was up to in Ukraine. And the Obama team ignored it. There's something going on here. I'm not sure why Obama was protecting Biden. I think it's because, I want to be clear, I'm speculating. So Obama knew about the Biden crime family. He could have shut it down and he didn't. My guess is he wanted to protect his reputation and didn't want to be seen as a poor vetter of vice presidents, and he picked this guy and he was corrupt. But it could be something more nefarious. In other words, Biden may have had something on Obama too. But there is zero doubt that this pardon happened because they want to make sure this all goes away and that Obama's never roped into it, because we know he knew. That is conclusive. Folks, the political narrative, the initiative's been lost by them too. The Biden team's been claiming that no one's above the law, that Donald Trump is attacking the Justice Department, that's a fair and independent arbiter. That's all bullshit. We know it. That political argument is dead now too, because now Karine Jean-Pierre, the worst press secretary in the history of the United States, is now acknowledging through Biden, who put out a statement, that the DOJ is basically infected with politics and that war politics is going on. It's right there in the New York Post. What's he going to say now? Trump has been saying for years now that the Department of Justice has been weaponized to attack political opponents. Biden's been screaming, heretic, burn him at the stake, threat to democracy. And the irony, Joe Biden and his press secretary are now making the exact same argument. that the DOJ's politicized, and that's why they targeted my son. Here's the audio of Karine Jean-Pierre in a press gaggle yesterday in Air Force One, making the exact case Donald Trump has been making for years now. Donald Trump was right, episode 2672. Check this out.
He's saying his own Justice Department is broken, Karine.
He believes in the Justice Department. He believes that there was
saying all that. He believes in the Justice Department?
This is his words. He said this. This is the president saying this.
He just said it's infected with politics.
I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making. I kept my word, even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfair prosecuted.
So how deep is the rot? How many selective prosecutions are there at the DOJ?
What I can speak to is this particular case, which is Hunter Biden, who has the last name of the president.
Folks, do you see how the political narrative has been completely surrendered to Donald Trump, who was right yet again? They have nowhere to go with this. The Democrats dying on this hill. Take the advice of Scott Jennings over at CNN. You don't have to die on this hill. And I get it. Some of you in the chat, Dan, don't try to protect. I'm not protecting these assholes. They're not listening to me. I'm trying to point out to you a very valid point, that they will die on this hill because this isn't the hill they're dying on. It isn't. No, they're not dying on to protect Joe Biden hill. They're dying on the we're freaking communists hill. And we can never admit wrong, because if we admit wrong, it'll look like the government doesn't know everything. The government we've in charge with totalitarian powers. They will never give it up, ever. Democrats have no ability whatsoever to show a shred of human decency at all. None. I want you to remember one of my golden rules, too. An important one. A lot of people are picking up on this, by the way, on social yesterday. Always measure the effectiveness of a political argument, a selection for a spot, a bureaucratic post, a legislative bill by the response of your opponents. If they don't freak out about it, I'd be a little worried. It's one of the reasons I'm a little bit worried about the nomination for labor secretary. The Democrats, if you notice, the defeated Congresswoman, the Democrats are all on board. I get worried about that because I'm not a hypocrite. The fact that they're okay with it says to me I shouldn't be. But the Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth selections for FBI director and defense secretary, respectively, have the left, they have their undies in a bunch. They don't know what to do. They are still freaking out over Kash Patel, which says to you, Kash must know something about what the lefties are trying to protect. Here's Morning Joe yesterday, losing their marbles again, wetting their diapers over Kash Patel. And you need to be asking yourself, why? Check this out.
These sort of selections, especially the Kash Patel selection, will backfire on Donald Trump, will hurt Donald Trump, will hurt Republicans in off-year elections. Any of these will do that, just like Matt Gaetz would have done it. So perhaps this is him pushing the boundaries. How far can I push the Senate? It is up to the Senate to actually, in this case, protect the best interests of the agencies, of the United States of America, and yes, selfishly, themselves and the 47th president.
We'll see how they manage.
We'll see if they manage through it.
If they can.
Yeah.
And you guys know why I use that clip? Anyone? It's a quick test. Anyone in chat know why I use that clip? This is a little like triple, double, quadruple reverse psychology here. If you listen to that clip and you rewind it, if you're watching on demand or listen on Spotify and Apple later on, you think Joe Scarborough, who again is a devout communist at this point, you think Scarborough is trying to help us? In other words, he says, oh, don't appoint Kash Patel. It's going to hurt you guys in the midterms. You heard the clip, right? You can rewind it and listen again. So Joe Scarborough now is giving us advice on how to protect our majorities in the midterms. Do you actually believe that? Now, I know for another 0 people in the chat. Who in the chat believes that? Yes, I believe it. Joe Scarborough, I was going to call him Chuck Scarborough. Joe Scarborough is trying to help us. Or no, Joe Scarborough's full of shit. He's just afraid all the deep state shenanigans he's trying to protect are going to get exposed by Kash Patel. Okay, Bongino on the case. If it's not 100%, I'll be disappointed. Joe Scarborough's not trying to help you. You got to learn to see through this bullshit. Scarborough's afraid. Everything he said over the last few years about collusion and PP tapes and the FBI being above board, everything's about to fall apart. There we go. Hell no. F no. Yeah, we get that. Nope. Yes. Tearing that chat up every single time. 160,000 getting ready to cross it. Love you guys. Send it out to your friend. 160,000 on a Tuesday. We love it. We burn that chat down every single day because we're good like that. He's not trying to help you. Now, I asked the guys today, producer Jim on the radio, and if you guys could help me out with this too, I would really appreciate this. Folks, we have the Dopey Media Talking Head Olympics. I want to just say in advance, no offense to people named Karen. My name is Dan. If you ever look up on the thing, I saw this on X one time. It said the top 10 names of dicks out there, and it said Dan was number one. So I was a little upset about that because I think I'm kind of a nice guy. Ironically, my wife's name is Paula, and the top 10 names of it had a different expletive in there. And I think 2 was Paula. I said, man, me and you are in trouble, right, Paula? So I get it with the names. But, however, having said that, Karen, the liberal lunatic who's screaming at you all the time, the fictitious Karen, I am here today to announce a new title. Is everybody ready? And we're going to get a little liner for this, too, because it's a special moment. Along with the Dopey Media Talking Head Olympics, I may get a challenge coin for this. I am here to announce today the Queen of the Karens. Who do you think it is? Who do you think the Queen of the Karens is? Anyone? Wait, anyone in the chat? Dopey Media. Oh, look at that. Nita's put it up at our chart, our metal chart. We like. No, not Joy. Joy's the Dopey Media Talking Head Olympics. Let's see if anyone in the chat gets it. No, not Taylor Lorenz. That's a good guess, though. No. Anyone? You see it? No, not Matt Saki. Oh, yes. L. Christensen won. You did it. We did it. You did it like Dora the Explorer. I'm waiting for Boots to jump in. Jessica Tarloff. We are announcing today the Queen of the Karens. Why? Because, again, if you ever want to see the damage someone's going to do to a left-wing narrative, go to people like Tarloff and Joe Scarborough and see the response. Here's Jessica Tarloff, who doesn't have any life skills whatsoever at all. Jessica Tarloff. She has zero life skills at all, has no entrepreneurial abilities, and can do nothing but spout ridiculous talking points. There he is. Shout out, L. Christensen 1. You get the chatster of the day today. She has no life skills at all, okay? Kash Patel is a lawyer. Is a very competent attorney. Kash Patel has held high-ranking positions in government. Here she is trashing this guy's reputation and upset, apparently, that he has some entrepreneurial interests outside of government. And also, she makes up this kind of fairy tale about how Kash Patel screwed up this hostage thing and cites Mark Esper. Apparently, she's unaware of the actual story here. By the way, Tarloff's had some legal issues. I think it was just thrown out, but had some issues before this, having to issue a correction on the Bobolinsky thing. So Tarloff's like the talking point queen. Watch this.
He has a clothing line. He hawks anti-vax diet supplements. And he nearly botched a 2020 hostage rescue, a 27-year-old American who was being held in Nigeria. He fabricated the fact that the government over there knew about it. Mark Esper has spoken about this. But otherwise, I think he's totally qualified.
But they got the hostages out, right?
After. Do you think it's okay to
They got it out, right?
I see
yeah,
how
so the
we're going to do
hostage
that.
was rescued, so it wasn't really botched.
Folks, I want to be clear. Tarloff is a moron. I'm telling you, she spouts talking points, but does almost no homework whatsoever. She's mad because Kash has business interests. Well, she's mad what? Because Kash actually has a reputation. Jessica Tarloff would be nothing outside of the 5. She is a second-rate at best commentator and a 10th-rate intellect who has had consistent trouble with the truth. She does nothing but spout talking points. The hostage raid she's talking about by Mark Esper's own calculation, was a success. That ridiculous attack on Kash Patel when he was a high-ranking government official on the national security side, you know what it was about? It was about some disagreement over if they had air clearance to get the hostages that they got out. She's acting like he sabotaged the thing because she's an idiot. Always when dunces like this say things like this, you should know she's afraid because she's consistently defended left-wing hoaxes and fairy tales. She knows she's going to be made to look like a buffoon when Kash Patel opens the books, just like Joe Scarborough. I see Anita's got it posted. Queen of the Karens, Jessica Tarloff, again getting wrecked. Thank you, Jesse, for wrecking Jessica Tarloff. I don't know how they have her on the show. I really don't. There's Queen Anita, DBS. Hail to the Queen. You're like the good queen. No, it's like you got the good queen and the bad queen. He's the queen of the Karens, the other one. This is not a smart person. I'm telling you right now. And again, I worked with these people at one point. This ain't personal. You don't want to do political commentary, get out of the business. You're free to go on your Twitter and take a shit on me all you want. I don't care. I don't care one bit. You're not going to hurt my feelings one bit. I know I'm right, and I know you've been wrong about everything. Here's another one of their left-wing lunatics. This is incredible. You're going to think, Dan, why do you keep playing this thing on loop? This is not on loop. Guys, can you attest this is actually a different cut? You know what? I need a favor from you tomorrow. Can you guys take screenshots of each one of them and put them in a montage so we show she's wearing different clothing in like a bunch of them? This is not the same thing. There was 2 or 3 from one day. That's okay. We can put 1, 2. And here is Sonny Hostin, another left-wing lunatic, because there's another person they are attacking, which is Pete Hegseth, because they're afraid he's going to break up the woke Pentagon and actually get them focused on war fighting and killing enemies and bad guys. Here's Sonny Hostin unbelievably issuing, is this the 5th legal disclaimer about their unbelievable attacks on Pete Hegseth? Here, watch this.
I have a very quick statement.
It's not going to be that quick.
Pete Hegseth has denied any wrongdoing. His lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. No charges were ever brought.
You rushed me for that?
I promise you, to our Apple and Spotify listeners, Guy always makes sure we take care of you because we love you too. She's wearing a different outfit. This is at least, I think, the 5th disclaimer she's having to give for them ruthlessly attacking Pete Hegseth. None of them are work-related, skill-related. It's all personal nonsense that they're getting into. They can't stop themselves because they're afraid. If they don't attack our military and dismantle it using wokeism, they're going to use one of our primary forces of power. They were planning on using it against us. And I don't mean like military raids on American soil. They want to make sure America's brought to its knees. And the best way to do it is to crush its military first. This was deliberate. Folks, we need a total revamp of government. We got 2 years to do it. One of the things is, this is a topic I haven't addressed in a few days, but I've gotten some questions on you. I want to be clear about this, okay? You're hearing it from me. So you can take it to the bank, cash the check, spend the money, whatever just take it from me. There have been 0 conversations whatsoever about me being in Trump's administration, in any position, Secret Service director or anything else. I can't say that enough. Because you're reading, I've seen all these reports out there. I mean, Geraldo seems to think I've already been appointed the Secret Service director. It's not happening. I can't say this enough, that nobody has contacted me about this. I'm telling you as a friend, because I don't want you to get spun up in left-wing conspiracy theories. CNN was reporting on it. Jake Tapper, cutesy time is over. But it is a position that matters to me a lot. Not to me for me to take it, but we need a competent Secret Service director in this next spot because I'm telling you, Trump's in a lot of danger. I will say this. One thing I have heard from my sources, which are very good for obvious reasons, is that finally the Secret Service's adage of yesterday's technology tomorrow, that was a joke when we were there, and it wasn't funny, but it was true. The Secret Service did not want any technology anywhere ever. They were always like, we don't need that stuff, and that's why they nearly got Donald Trump killed. I'm hearing now that now they've gone in the other direction where the people there are like, well, give us whatever we can get. So I'm going to throw this up on a voiceover here. So you'll see this. They have this robotic surveillance dog over there at Mar-a-Lago. And I'm hearing from my guys that this thing is a big force multiplier because of the stuff it does. I mean, you know, it's not like Cyclops where from the, X-Men where it shoots laser beams out of its eyeballs or anything like that. But they're moving on the technology front. And I'm going to tell you why this matters to me. And I've written about this in a number of different books. Because if the next Secret Service director, the guy now has got to go. If the next Secret Service director Trump appoints does not get rid of investigations and focus on protection, number one, I'm going to be all over it. Now, it's got to be done legislatively through Congress, but they better be on board with it. They have got to focus on protecting the president. Forget counterfeit investigations, number one. But number two, they had better double down on technology because you heard it here first. If they get, God forbid, they get a member of the Trump family or Donald Trump, it is going to happen from the air using drones. And don't give me don't give them any ideas. They already have the ideas. The only way to pressure them to do something about it is to out this stuff so it doesn't happen. That is my only goal here. My only goal is to keep him alive. They are not prepared. They're getting prepared. I'm hearing there's been some movements in the air security branch that protects against the drone stuff. And that's a good thing. But those sensors and that surveillance technology were requested at Mar-a-Lago a long time ago. And the prior director's team said, quote, we don't secure nightclubs. This is the kind of stuff they need. And they better get on that air picture fast. Because I'm telling you, as a guy who's been there, that that's going to be the way this goes down. And everybody knows it. Should we play this Christopher Wray clip to wrap this up? Let's play it. You want to see why we need, by the way, a new FBI director in Kash Patel and Christopher Wray needs to be fired? I'll wrap up with this, but it's a good one. Here's the great Rand Paul questioning Christopher Wray about why the FBI was surveilling American citizens using 702 and other things like that. And Christopher Wray just totally denying it like it never happened, pretending this is just normal social media monitoring. This guy's got to go. Check this out.
Companies are referring information to the FBI with investigative value relating to foreign malign influence. Now, there'd probably be a great deal more tolerance about that if it's foreign malign influence. But the question is, are you also receiving information on so-called domestic? But what would that mean? Is someone questioning whether paper ballots are an accurate way of running election? Is that good enough for you to be getting our private information because we have a political beef with the way votes are counted or recorded in our country? Is that something that you're collecting information on? Are they giving you information on private things that you've told them, well, people who question the election, we want to hear about these people, and so then they're giving you this information? Are you receiving information?
I'll give you two classic examples that I think happen with some frequency. One, if we supply information to, say, Facebook or any number of other technology companies about foreign accounts, Russian intelligence service, for example, accounts, when they then look in their system for those accounts, they often find other accounts related to those, and they provide tips and leads back to us about those. That's one example. A second would be a situation where a technology company encounters a threat of violence on their platform, on their services, and they provide tips and leads to us, and we follow up on those threats of violence.